Hi friends, this is Mohammed Shakil here, and today I'm going to show you some of the tips which you can use while you're working in 3D Studio Max. I've been making real-time assets in 3ds Max for a couple of years now, and I've found some people who are working in 3ds Max and they get really frustrated working without using the important shortcuts or keys. So here I'm going to share some of the tools or some of the techniques which I feel is really helpful while you're on the go. So first of all, let me just show you. While you're working, say I'm creating a box. So I have a box, let it be of any dimension, and say I need to move this box. So people directly go over here and they move it like this, X, Y, and Z. So you don't really have to go over here and select the tools. You have Q, W, E, R. Q is for select, W is for move, E is for rotate, and R is for scale. So these are the tools which this is the place where you have to play around with your hands. So the same thing applies when you are in the sub-object level. So I'll just convert it into editable poly, and once you're on the sub-object level, say you're just selecting 2 points here, and the same thing applies, like the W is for move, and say when you're in this particular when you are having this particular tool here, you'll be able to switch back to the different thing, which the different navigation technique over here. So you don't really have to go over here and select it. So the second thing, you can see in the sub-object level you have different edge and border and polygon and element. So you don't really have to go over here and select it all the time. You can just press 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are the different this is an important technique which you can keep in your mind while you're working with 3D Studio Max. So you can this is really helpful, so keep this in your mind. So the next thing what you can do, the next thing which I'm going to explain is about working with what do you call the viewports. So some people, they really for expanding the viewport, they really do this because they really don't know the shortcut to expand and come back to the position. So you don't really have to, if you want to maximize the realistic or the call the perspective, you don't have to really do this. You can make this same way, the way you want it, and instead of that, you can just press Alt W to maximize the viewport and come back to the viewport. So this is really helpful. So in this way you can switch back to the maximized and minimized position. And another thing is, say if I have selected some of the vertices over here, and let's just say that I want to work in the front view, or say I want to move these 2 vertices in the front view. So I'm really clicking on the left click over here and the selection is gone. So instead of doing that, a lot of people do this mistake. So instead of doing that, say the selection is over here, if you want to work in this viewport, always use the middle mouse button and click on the middle mouse button, and the selection is still over there. So that's really an important tool which you can work with. So try that. And the next thing that I would like to show you is say the Z command. So say you are in the you're working with these 2 vertices over here, and you really want to have a closer look with this. So let me just maximize this viewport, and say you want a closer look. So you can press the Z button. So once you click on the Z button, you get the focus. So in this way you can focus on the viewport. And once you're focusing on a viewport, what happens is, even if you rotate, the rotation is with respect to these 2 points here. So that's 2 points. Two tips at the same time that I'm explaining. One is that if you want to change the what do you call the center of rotation, you can press Z, and if you want to zoom, you can press Z. So say I'm just selecting over here, and I'm coming closer over here, and I'm trying to rotate. Let me just explain you this one. So for the explanation's sake, I'll just create one more box, and yet another one. Say I'm over here, and I want to do rotation for this. Let's just come to this box here and do the rotation. See, it's really not rotating according to the this particular object. So if you want it so, you can select it. You can select that particular object and press the Z command. And once you're pressing on the Z command, and if you're rotating, it's rotating with respect to the object. So in this case, it was proper because that was the last object which was created. So I'm going to explain. I'm going to continue this tools and the tips and tricks of 3ds Max in my continuation video. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching.